All right. FHF.
FHF.
AC cooling down the heat.
And howling out the truth.
Today we got a guest. It is Desmond.
Oh, yeah. Hey, welcome back. It's been a long time no see.
Just joking. He's not here today.
Yeah.
We had a, recent schedule adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
We're all, have outside lives outside of the podcast.
Yeah, true.
So, today it's a little weird. Just me and Thomas
originally
today.
it was going to be him, but,
But it's the original duo on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's going to be interesting because
yeah.
I don't think we did a trial and error podcast.
Oh,
me and
yeah.
Thomas.
Yeah, I brought that up earlier.
And then
that was last fall, too.
It didn't
before
work.
we officially started.
Yeah, it didn't work out, but now since we have a more stability on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. We're in a flow of things now, yeah.
Organization is much better.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Hopefully this pod is a little bit entertainment for you guys.
Yep.
Just a heads up, I won't be looking through my notes as much. I'm trying to be more genuine in this podcast discussion, and then off my personal experiences as well. The day that we post this, it will be Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not just, we're not just talking about just men's mental health, but since we're both men here, those are the only experiences we have.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And another thing is that we're not excluding everyone's mental health if you're not a man or a male.
Yeah.
Just a heads up. We're just...
It can apply to all.
Right. We're just making awareness for men's mental health too as well.
Yeah, based off our experience and all that.
But speaking about, men's mental health, I don't think... This is my, personal, what's it called? Personal thing about men's mental health. I don't think it's that aware from other people.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big... I don't think people really know that men go through mental health.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see what you mean, because it feels like it's kind of hidden, because, in our culture, men have to, bottle up things sometimes.
Yeah, in our society, men are, they don't really talk as much, right?
Yeah, we kind of adapted that way.
We like to just hide our feelings.
Yeah,
and express it later on when we're in the room or in the mirror, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Camera issues like usual.
If you guys know anything about the Sonys and why it interrupts on pausing, let us know.
Yeah, we try to figure everything out.
I try to do some extensive research about it. It just doesn't.
We even had a fan connected to it, but that didn't even... Seems like it still does its same issues, I guess.
Yeah. But where we left off is me and Thomas were discussing that I don't think people are as much as aware on men's mental health compared to women's mental health.
Yeah, that's how we started as an intro.
And I think the reason why, we were saying that, men, they keep their, feelings hidden in the bottle. They don't really speak up.
Yeah, it's kind of normalized.
As for, I feel like women, they like to, surround themselves with people, talk to them. I'm not going to speak for all women, maybe they don't like to surround themselves with people, but I think I think they just have, a friend group that they're able to to reach out to compared to men. We don't really reach out to each other.
Yeah, true.
In a way where
we're a little different in that aspect.
But I think that's just my own opinion from there. I don't that's also based what I see from social media.
Yeah, I kind of see that too.
And then from school and stuff that. I see a lot of the males, they don't really talk much about their feelings. They don't really open up. Even myself, I don't really open up. But do you open up your feelings?
No, I mean, it's makes you feel vulnerable. It's kind of uncomfortable. And it's it just doesn't feel natural.
Well, also,
sometimes.
It's a social norm. If you open up your feelings, you're weak.
Oh yeah, true. That
right? Like
yeah,
I think we're taught that way, where we're bottled up our feelings. Like, yeah, I don't want to show that I'm weak.
and I feel like I felt like I knew that ever since I was a kid too, like that early.
Also, you're not weak if you like, release your emotions and stuff like that. It's okay to have emotions, and it's okay to express them, and your mental capacity to like just express what you're feeling and stuff like that. Vent it out. We'll have some links below in our YouTube subscription of like places that you can reach out to ask for help. But please don't be afraid, and don't think that it's you're weak and stuff like that. Any of those negative connotations about being a man and in the mental health situation and stuff.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
kind of sad. It's got to be like that, but at the same time, it's like I guess it's one trick to try to toughen yourself up, but at the end of the day, you kind of need to balance yourself out.
Well, it's shown that men have committed suicide more than the other gender.
Oh yeah, I actually didn't know that 100%, but I can kind of feel why.
Through mental health though. Through mental health
wise.
Yeah, mental health wise. And like we were saying, I think it's just because men they don't really express themselves well. They don't like to ask for help, so like any like what's it called, like those counselors and stuff like that.
Therapy.
We don't like to go to those. We don't like to talk to other people. I feel like we do like it when people reach out to us though, right?
Oh yeah, true. But even though that can be rare, and it really is probably very
that's the
specific
thing.
people
Also,
that do.
like I feel like in our today's society, we don't care about men.
Yeah, true. They just throw them in the trash.
I think I don't think that, like, in my perspective, I don't think I seen anybody really caring and reach out to me personally with my own mental health.
Yeah, I feel like
issues.
it's very rare. Like, a lot of people don't even want to hear a lot of negative stuff too, so it's kind of hard to work around that.
Like,
because nobody wants to hear it downer. So at the same time, it's kind of hard to talk to someone.
Like, I get that, but like I feel like some of your close friends could be like, hey, like, are you okay, or like stuff
like close friend, like close to the point where you can trust them and know they're like not backstabbers or anything like that. And you've been around them for a long time.
Like, when you're going through mental health, did you like have anyone reached out to you?
But I mean, to be honest, like very specific people. I guess for example, like my grandma's like one of the people I talked to about stuff I wanted to with other people, because I feel like as a man, you like specifically only talk to very certain close people, not even all close people, but certain close people.
I think I know what you're coming off with, because I think as a man, you want to be vulnerable to the right person.
Yeah, definitely.
To have that security and to feel like you're safe.
Yeah, for sure, because you will feel off if you tell someone you're not really too sure about.
Yeah, well, obviously, and like, it can be awkward. Also, like, the response when you tell them, like, it might not be genuine too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
And that's the sense of security that we might not want from them as a man.
Yeah.
Or a male.
You kind of have to soften the blow by like subtly bringing it up,
For me, I personally did not talk to anyone about my mental health when I was going through some stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it just didn't happen. Like, I just kept it inside me.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a healthy way to keep all that shit.
Yeah, you can't do that forever. Like, maybe temporarily.
I don't recommend any of you guys doing that, like, straight up, because it tears you down and fucks you up.
Yeah.
And it makes you dig yourself in a hole.
Yeah.
And then you can't, like, find your way out of that hole.
Yeah, and you have a more, like, negative space in your head that you're trying to escape, but you can't until,
And I feel like you lose. Out. I feel like you lose yourself as a person, and you lose your the surroundings around you, like your family, your friends, and you know, what you usually do, like, you know, going to the gym, working, like, or
yeah,
like
it can really throw you off and throw your focus off.
Yeah, too. And then
so it can affect you.
Your ideals might have changed too, like that.
Mm-hmm, yeah, for sure.
I think my biggest mental health, like, you know, prime days was in high school, when junior year of high school,
around the time I met you.
I don't think you remember, I don't know if you know, but I wasn't in that class a lot.
Oh yeah,
during like the end, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I kind of vaguely remember you like skipping sometimes. I mean, especially first period, but
well, we didn't have only first period. We had like third period,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
or fourth period. I don't remember.
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes you'd skip both, I think, if I remember correctly. But sometimes you would only skip the first class. Sometimes, but especially since it was a teacher you didn't like.
Well, that's one of the reasons. But the reason why I skipped a lot of school was because during that time, was it high school?
Junior year of high school?
I'm trying to think if it was high school. Yeah, it was high school, junior year, because we were doing the SATs, right?
Oh yeah.
During that time of the SATs, specifically, I skipped a lot of time of school because my grandma had cancer, she was hospitalized in the what's it called, that UW hospital right next to that stadium, the football stadium. And then she passed away. Obviously, I just skipped school and, you know, take some time away from school and then, you know, be with family and stuff.
Yeah,
like
that'll
that.
definitely put like a dark shadow over your head.
And then, obviously, yeah, that put me in a depressing mental health mindset, because that woman gave me a lot and, you know, showed me a lot of love and friendship. And that broke me down as a person to lose somebody that important to me. And then, like, after like a following months or so, or days, I don't remember. I'm not really good with timelines, but after like my grandma passed away, my great grandma had cancer, which is my grandma's mother, and then she passed away, and from cancer too. And then, you know, I had to skip school because of that too, and then it just happened all at once.
Yeah.
And then I had like some personal like family issues that was going on that also affected my mental health, and it was just a big hurricane.
Yeah, I feel like that would just make that's like turning a big switch on.
Yeah,
on
I don't know if you know that I was going through all those, and
maybe just like one or two of those things.
Have I ever mentioned that to you, or have you ever
maybe after like a year or two? I think you told me like one of those. I think the first one you told me.
Yeah.
Like I can vaguely remember though, to be honest, because it was such a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I definitely I have a feeling that you told me at least one of those things. I don't know if it was everything though.
Yeah.
But
well, I don't think I told you like as much, is because we weren't as close as we were.
I think that was like
today.
literally when we just met too.
Yeah, because junior year we were just, you know, started to become like friends. But
it's funny. It's funny in the beginning of junior year we weren't friends at first, and then we became friends later in the year.
Funny story. I found Thomas really weird. I didn't want to be his friend, but don't judge anybody by the cover. Thomas is totally a chill, nice dude. The reason why I thought he was weird was he fucking asked for my email.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it at the time. I thought it was okay at the time.
In my head, you know, we had phones and we had like social media, like Instagram, Snapchat.
But you know what's funny though? That year is the first time I got my first smartphone. Like either a little before that or a little after that, because I literally had a flip phone.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, because when I had a flip phone,
but even when you have a flip phone, like you can ask for a number, like
I guess
like
so.
an email. I was like, why email?
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to be professional, but I guess it came off weird.
Well, we were talking about like YouTube and stuff and like working with each other, but then when he asked for my email, I was like, I don't know, like, why don't you ask for my social media or anything like that? Why email? Like,
now when I look back on it, I can see how that's unusual.
I was like, who uses email nowadays?
yeah, true. It's like Snapchat, well, like Instagram.
At least in contacting ways, you know, like.
Because email, I know that's more for like when we're business and shit.
Yeah, especially when we're kids. Like, I didn't take like emails that seriously. Like, if you emailed me, I would not like respond. But if you like text me or DM me, like I'd be like, okay.
That makes sense. I feel like email's more for if you're like sending clips or videos or some shit.
Yeah, well, it's also like the social standard and the social norm of today. Like of texting and going on social media.
That makes more sense looking back on that. And it's kind of mind blowing how this turned to 180 and now we're like close friends, you know?
Yeah. But that's the intro of how me and Thomas met.
Yeah.
But yeah, during that time I was going through a lot of shit and my mental health capacity was not there. At that time, you know, I was going out a lot with, this is not so when I was going going out a lot, it wasn't during the time my grandma was going through her cancer treatment and she passed away. So when I was going out a lot before she passed away and all the cancer treatment, you know, I was like a kid, you know, just wanted to party, smoke, drink.
Get that out your system.
Yeah, and then go out and party with my friends, and then, you know, stay up.
I feel like most people had a phase like that,
fucking, you know? 2 to 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's definitely a phase,
or even longer, you know, play video games every weekend, you know, like, you know, the fucking everyday activities you do as a kid.
Yeah, definitely.
But after my grandma, like, passed away, my grandma passed away, I truly grew the fuck up.
Oh yeah, I bet that like kind of forced you.
Yeah,
like I said, it's like a switch in your brain that forced you.
Like I stopped myself from going to parties and like I didn't stop drinking or smoking, but I wouldn't do it as much compared to back then. My friends were constantly just trying to hit me up just to party and drink and smoke.
Yeah,
and the party factor, I was like, no. But like when it comes to drinking and smoking with just like your close friends, I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that time.
Yeah, and then I just think that my mental health when it came to like partying and stuff, I just didn't feel like I could do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is my friends asking me to party and not asking me about like how am I doing?
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
About like going through all that like situation and shit.
Because some of your friends are not actually there for your actual friendship type shit. They're more there for like just social gatherings and shit.
Like so they care enough to like invite me to go to parties, which is, you know, nice.
Yeah, it's like a certain type of friends.
It's you know? Nice, you know. Yeah, like I'm like. Shout out for you guys who like, you know, thought about me, you know, inviting me to the party.
Yeah.
But I think during that time, that's not what I needed as a human being. Like, I felt like I needed like friends.
Because it's like you can still feel lonely even if you're like going out and partying.
Well, that's the thing. I felt alone during that time because I feel like nobody really understood what I was going through. Like I mean, maybe there were some kids that, you know, went through the same, you know, traumatic experience that I did, you know, during that time, like a hurricane situation. But majority of the kids that we're going to school with, I feel like they weren't understanding where I'm coming from because they were just doing the same shit, partying.
Yeah, we all have our own story.
You know, partying and doing all that shit, which is okay. That's chill, you know. But you
were going through a darker time.
Yeah, I was going during a darkened time, and I was like, shit, like I feel like I'm alone. Like I'm not doing this shit anymore. And like I see all my friends posting on Snapchat and Instagram and shit like that.
Yeah, you just feel like nothing's like that. Not really real.
And I felt like sad. I'm like, damn, like I don't like. Are these like some of these guys? Are these like my real friends and stuff like that?
You know, that kind of reminds me of like even celebrities can feel really lonely because everybody's out there just for the you know, their clout, their money.
And the only thing that blocked, me being sad was playing video games.
Oh yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
I guess that would distract you enough if you're playing games.
Yeah, shout out to video games. It's a great distraction.
That was one of my escapes.
Yeah, it's a great escape. I personally advise to you guys, find balance when you play video games.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a great escape for like leaving the reality world.
Yeah, for sure.
Into like a world.
Yeah, I actually remember playing one of my favorite games that came out like a few years ago when I was going through some shit.
Yeah.
And it actually helped me like not think about it, because it's actually like a game I was invested on, and it just kind of helped block things out like that. Yeah.
Well, I don't like to use the word prime, but like I guess it kind of makes more sense using the word prime. But like, what was your prime moment of like going through mental health issues?
It was on and off, to be honest. Like, it's spread out. It's weird. It fluctuates a lot.
You didn't have like a whole like months of like going through mental health, or
there's a couple of times I can remember, like,
or like a whole year.
Yeah, when one example was like the breakup after my fake relationship was one of them, like a long time ago, like 2016.
This was like after middle school, right, for you? Or was this freshman year of high school?
It was going into freshman year of high school. Yeah. And it was really nasty too.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just a regular one. It was really, really nasty, and I didn't recover until like a few months after it. And then another thing, and then a second time around when I was going through something was 2020 summer. A lot of family issues, and like I was surrounded by negativity in my environment for like months straight, and it like fucked with my head. Like in 2020, and the world was already a disaster too.
Yeah.
On top of that, and
this was COVID, right?
Yeah. That was the beginning of COVID, and I can just remember it clear as day because it was like definitely one of my worst like traumatic times in my life.
Yeah, like going back to like what I was saying about like how people don't really see men's like mental health, right?
Yeah.
During your time, I feel like, did anyone reach out to you?
No. Nobody did.
You felt alone too, right?
Yeah. I mean, and it was so uncomfortable to talk about. I won't even talk about it to like family members, even though it didn't really. All the bad shit didn't really relate to me. It related to more like close family members. Mm-hmm. And it was just like I said, it's all the negative shit around me that put me in a negative space. Even if it didn't like affect me directly, it would still like affect me just being surrounded by that energy.
Yeah.
But it was like really dark shit. I don't even want to talk about any details because it was like, it's just uncomfortable to talk about. And that's like another example why it's kind of uncomfortable to talk about like deep personal shit. Or even if it's not directly to you or someone you're close to, it's hard to talk about someone else too, even that like negatively affected you, but not directly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But going back what I was saying too, like this is why I'm saying like men's like mental health awareness is important, because I feel like we don't get reached out to like a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Because like at the end of the
obviously, day, like when I asked you like have anyone reached out to you, you had nobody reaching out to you.
Yeah.
And then when I was going through it, my family members was going through it too.
Mm-hmm.
But like I felt alone because I'm a kid and they're adults. They can bond with each other, or maybe they're not bonding with each other.
Yeah.
But during that time, I felt like I was alone. I didn't feel like anyone was reaching out to me. Not even my close friends that I consider good, like close friends. They weren't being like, "Hey, why'd you just like miss?"
Yeah, they weren't like looking out. They weren't like looking out for you. At that level.
and then they kept asking me like going to parties and shit, but like that's not what I was like.
They only cared for you about that specifically.
Yeah, and I was like, I wasn't looking forward to that.
Yeah, that makes completely sense. Like no wonder like you talk about like it's better to have just a small circle of friends that you actually have like a better, like a deeper connection with.
Well, like when I went back to school, it felt weird. Like I feel like everyone was like looking at me like I came in a different person.
And, I bet they can like see a 180 flip.
Yeah,
like that.
And look, I'm not asking for like what's it called? I'm not asking for pity, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that like if you're a real friend, you know, go check up your homie. Be like, hey, like, you doing all right? Like,
yeah, that's
like,
reasonable
how you doing?
too. Yeah.
Like, you doing okay? Like, I'm just trying to check up on you because, you know, I know you've been going through it, or I see you going through it, and you've been acting a little different from usual. I just want to check up on you.
Yeah, that seems like too rare nowadays.
But like, obviously, yeah, we're in high school. I mean, like, we're kids. I guess it wasn't that deep for other people.
Yeah, but when you grow up fast, that's different.
Yeah, like,
you see like different perspectives.
I felt like I grew up fast, and I was like, damn, like, where's my friends when I need them the most? Not when it comes to partying, drinking, and smoking. When I need them, like,
that's like
by my side, like, you know, by like asking me, like, hey, like, how you doing, bro? Like, are you doing okay?
Yeah, that's a big learning lesson.
Like, we miss you, we love you, you know, like. You know, not love you in a weird way, but like love you as like a friendship.
Yeah, there's got to be at least a subtle way to bring that up.
And I feel like it's not that much to do, you know. Like, if you can ask like your homie, hey, like, you want to go out to party? You could also be like, hey, like, you doing okay, man? Like, how come you're not been partying with us and stuff?
Yeah,
like
definitely.
That.
Most people in high school are not mature enough to actually like do stuff like that.
Yeah, and then and moving outside of like the high school era, like, even as an adult, I was going through it just last year before I met my girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was digging myself in a hole. I was like, shit,
technically that's pretty recent too.
Yeah. As an adult, no one really checked up on me.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, I feel
the only recent person that checked up on me was Desmond. He's like, hey, how you doing, man? Like, you doing okay? I see a real one. Yeah, like, and then I was like, damn, okay, yeah, like, Desmond's my homie. Like, he checked up on me, and I love people that do that. They're more genuine. Like, they care about your mental health. They care about what you're going through. They care about your feelings and shit like that. And you know, it doesn't have to be good. It can be bad too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They want to hear all the good and bad, not just the
true.
good.
Yeah, true. Because like, it's definitely can be one sided if they're only there for you. For
yeah,
the good
and
shit.
then but what I was saying is that, like, I don't think I saw that many people hitting me up during the time I was going through it. The only one person I could vent to was Carlos too, because he was my gym partner. Shout out to Carlos. You know, every time I was just working out. Also, working out, it's a great way to release all that, you know, frustration, anger, depression, all that shit.
Definitely one of the key components.
Yeah. When I was depressed, working out was the best key thing that helped me.
Yeah.
And it's also a healthy thing to do. I mean, my biggest advice is to go to the gym and, you know, lift some weights, lift some heavy ass shit, and then release all that, like, tension in you.
Yeah, like, it actually makes you feel very calm and clear headed afterwards. I don't even work out as much as you do, but when I do, whether it's running or like lifting weights, like, I feel more clear headed at the end and more like calmed down and able to handle certain stresses.
And also another thing that helped me was going on hikes.
Oh yeah, I bet.
When we're going on hikes,
the incline be intense for that shit.
When we're going on hikes, me, especially you, and Kai, in the nature is so peaceful. You know, you're just fucking walking
that
up
too,
the
the
hill.
scenery. Yeah,
your mind
that makes it even better.
Yeah, your mind is in peace. It's not like clouded.
Rather than being on a treadmill, be hella boring.
Yeah, and it's not
like
same
spot.
It's not fighting with yourself in the fucking hike, because you're surrounded by nature, the beauty, and your friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Enjoying like something you can enjoy with your friends.
Yeah, you even did that a little bit of rock climbing at the end of one hike.
Yeah, me and Kai did a sketchy one and almost fell off that. No, we didn't almost fall off.
But I bet you guys feel like pretty accomplished, like being on top of that shit.
Yeah,
and seeing like the top view.
It felt so that that's a great moment that you mentioned, actually.
Yeah.
So when I did that, I felt the happiest.
Mm-hmm.
I like
at your peak.
Yeah, like literally. I felt like I can do anything in the world, and nothing could stop me. And my mental health at that time was like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like I was like,
that's like building confidence.
Yeah,
in
I
yourself.
was like working out, going hikes with my friends, being surrounded by my friends, you know, getting a good job, and then, you know, improving my job skills, and so much was going on.
So many improvements.
Yeah, so much was going on the right way. I felt great.
Yeah, so you feel like the opposite, opposite of the batch that you're going through.
Yeah, but what also, you know, stopped me from, you know, going to that steep, you know, slope down.
Yeah, that slippery slope that we were talking about.
That mental health mindset of like depression and
yeah, that's never fun. Like sometimes it could be so bad you just want to die in that moment, and just like even when you're okay, you feel the complete opposite. But when you're actually in the moment of feeling that way,
the biggest thing for me
deal with it.
For you know, mental health wise is that I hate losing. When I feel the sense of losing, my mental health goes wild.
Yeah.
Like I get depressed, I get sad, I get angry, I get all these emotions, and I just don't know how to like express it.
Yeah, it's kind of natural to be scared of failure.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that, you know, like we're young adults leaving high school, and I don't know what's coming up for me in life, you know? And I hate not seeing the path, but you know, that's how life is. But you know, going through my path and, you know, running some trials and error, sometimes I feel like I'm losing. Like my job, yeah, I got promoted, but like I'm trying to get promoted even more, and I feel like I'm losing because I've been stuck in a job for a while, but like I haven't got any promotion and worked my ass off for a company who I feel like that doesn't really care about me. And I put myself in
I could definitely vouch for that because I worked with you for a couple years.
And I put myself in a tiring like situation for mentally and physically for myself, where it, like when I come to work, I'm just like drained. And I feel like, oh shit, I don't even want to feel dead inside. Yeah, I don't even want to be here anymore. Like
especially like, the repetitiveness. Like
I'm like, why really, why am I putting so much effort into something that's not rewarding me anymore?
Yeah, true. And it fucks with your creativity being through the same redundant task over and over.
What I was doing for myself was supposed to be rewarding for myself, and I felt like it wasn't rewarding.
Yeah, because you actually had goals like while working. You didn't want to just freeze and just be stuck.
Yeah, and that was the part of the losing mentality for me, and that fucked me. That was an example of a losing mentality for me, and it fucked me up. And it fucked up my mental health too, and I was sad. There's times I would cry, not gonna lie. Didn't really say much about this to any of my friends or to you, Thomas, but there's times I cry in my car. There's times I just cry in my room just thinking about it. And not only that, like work situation, like the part of being alone. I feel like I didn't really have any real friends out there. I had real friends, but like I feel like I didn't have like a vulnerability where I can talk to them in a way like that. Besides, you know, you and Carlos, but like it's hard to explain. Like
But yeah, I respect you bringing that up on the pod for sure.
Yeah, it was just hard, you know, being you know, in that state of mind and not being able to reach out to a friend. It's partially my fault because I'm so stubborn. I don't like to show weakness.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm stubborn too.
And I just felt like I was losing in that moment. Carlos, I think the only person that I vent truly was to Carlos because we've been working out, and I think Carlos knows. He's kind of in my, like, me and him kind of share a similar vision, and then we kind of share the same, you know, passion.
You guys still work out right now?
No, not anymore. But yeah, me and Carlos share basically the same passion and shit. So I felt like I was able to speak out to him, and then he's a good guy. He kept me secured. Good. And stable, and you know he looked out for me good, you know, and as a good friend. he always encouraged me to do better too, and I always encourage him to do better.
Yeah, you always need like one of those connections at least in life.
Yeah, and then we're not perfect, but it was just terrible, man. Like I was like thinking about work and then feeling alone. I wanted like a partner, like a girlfriend at that time.
Oh yeah.
And
last year.
Yeah, because I wanted to share love. I don't know. It's kind of this might sound corny and weird, but like I just wanted to share love with a girl and have a future with that girl.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and then build something, pure and something genuine. And I just felt like I couldn't really get that from like anybody out there, like any girls.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
And I felt depressed because it's like, am I not like good looking enough, or am I not like good enough for like anybody?
I have the same struggles with that too. So
that was also going through in my head while like feeling a failure was going through my head. So I had two things going through my head. And then me and my family, like, we're on and off. We're close and we're not close, and we have problems. We argue, we don't argue. That also fucked up my mentality. That doesn't help.
It's on the side.
And then like there would be times like I'm sitting at home like doing nothing. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I could be doing other shit. That also fucked up like my mentality. Like just laying in bed, like scrolling on TikTok, and I'll be like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why am I wasting so much time? And I was like, damn, like I could be doing so much more for myself, like build a company or start a fucking podcast or something like that.
Yeah, like we are right
now.
Yeah,
and then that was a huge thing for me, like stuff like that, dead time, like that fucked me up the most. And that's why I say you should always have that self-control in video games too, because like when you're playing video games, sometimes you get so lost, and when time goes by, you're like, shit, like why did I waste my time? Like, true. It felt rewarding during the game, but like outside, like once you're out of that moment of the game and back into reality, it's not rewarding at all.
Even that could be stressful because it feels like you have a bunch of catching up to do productivity wise.
Yeah, exactly. And then once you're out of that that gaming world and back into reality, you're like, what the fuck did I actually reward myself?
Yeah, I feel that. Because I've had so much dead time, too, where I feel like I just have to catch up as much as possible.
And, like...
Make up for dead time.
Like, realistically, I know I'm not, like, a fucking streamer or gamer where I make money on YouTube or whatever. It would be cool, though. It would be cool. Shout out to those people who do that.
I wish I was one of those people, too.
I wish I was one of those, because I'm a fucking huge nerd for games. I'm a huge nerd for Legos, and I'm a huge nerd for, like,
I even attempted
anime and stuff
to be a
like
Let's
that.
Player even. Got 680 subs, but it's still not enough to, like, get monetized and shit, though. But
yeah. But what I'm saying is that, like, don't get too lost in the video game world, because sometimes
not for too long.
Yeah, sometimes you get out, you're like, what did I accomplish? And you feel
like you said, balance is key.
Yeah, you feel that mental state, like, fuck, I just fucked up wasting my time. I'm a loser. And I'm like, and you'd be like, hey, like, Augie, you might be like too harsh on yourself. Yeah, I am harsh on myself. I grew up that way, and I feel like I can see that. I shouldn't be too harsh on myself, but like I feel like that's the only way I can mature and grow. Yeah, and then become a better version of myself. If I don't tell myself I'm a loser, then who's gonna do it?
Yeah, and reality can be harsh itself too. So that's like the only way to like adapt and be comfortable.
If no one can tell me the realism of myself, who's gonna do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I mean I may punish myself. And it might be my fault where I put myself in a bad mental situation, but I feel like it's just, it goes in cycles, I guess.
Oh yeah, it's like an endless cycle. Yeah. Sometimes I go in a mental cycle like that too.
But there's times where like my friends reach out, like Carlos and stuff like that, and like Desmond, and then you, and then having. Now, today, I have a girlfriend. Like, that depression and that, that mental state is not the same as it was before, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
because now I'm more able to be more vulnerable to someone and feel more secure about it, and they still love me no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. And that's always like better than anything else you were going through before that.
Yeah. But honestly, shout out to all those people out there, you know, going through some type of thing and being stuck in a negative mental mindset.
Yeah. Eventually I want to go on that topic soon, but after you're done.
No, go right ahead.
Yeah, but it kind of relates to the topic you were just talking about, like just like failing and then this repeated cycle of reflection of how you could do better and all the things that bother you in life. Like it's tough because like that's when mental health gets in the way. It's like it's not bad when it's something new and you can learn from it, but if it's like something that's repetitive. Yeah. Like I can give a few examples. Like, you know, the things I struggle with like day to day is like it mentally affects me because it's like something I can never escape, you know? Like, finding a relationship was one of those, and then you have a few more.
Finding the right friendship too.
Yeah, that too. Right. That can be tough.
Yeah.
And like putting yourself out there is not always the easiest, especially if you got like social anxiety like I do. It's never easy.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. I have a huge social anxiety too. Like I back then, I guess now I'm better. Like I'm really confident in myself and my own ability, but back then like I did not want to talk to anybody.
Used to be worse like when I was a teenager especially. That's
no, mine was worse as a teenager too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I remember this time where I went out with friends. We did a bonfire. Everyone was socializing. Right?
Oh yeah.
They're all drunk and high.
I was in one of those.
I think you might be in this one. I'm not sure.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. But they were basically, you know, we're drinking.
It's like 2018, I think.
Yeah, and then I remember just staring at the fucking fire. Oh, yeah. I wasn't talking to anybody.
Oh, were you like right in the middle, just staring?
Yeah, like. There was, like, a couple people trying to interact with me, but I was just, like, staring at the fire. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't know how to socialize. I was like, I
remember one time we went to one, like, 2 nights in a row, and I was hungover the second time around.
Well, I can also give another example. Like, back in high school, I remember this person came up to me, like, asking me all these questions, you know, and then, like, trying to talk to me. And then I was just like giving some like vague answer and shit like that, and I wasn't I wasn't able to keep a conversation going at all. Like I didn't know how to, and I was like I felt really weird about it, and I was like I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I'd definitely be awkward.
And I was like, my social anxiety is coming back, and I was okay, I'm just gonna like walk away.
Especially if you're like rusty, it makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Kind of rusty.
But nowadays, like, I think ever since I started working in customer service, like the restaurant industry, like working in the front, like I was like speaking to customers, you know, you gotta build a conversation. And I think that took me out of that social anxiety and started having small talks and
mine was a little different where I'm just like I just had to meet terms of acceptance eventually with me, because like for me, like developing social skills is a lot harder. So I'm just like, in terms of acceptance, but it kind of helps me be comfortable and just be myself a little bit more than what I used to, you know? Like back in the day.
I'll tell you this, guys. The viewers out there that are like watching, listening to us. And also, I want to be sorry, before I go on, I want to say we appreciate you guys so much for joining in our pod for sure. Every fucking video. And taking the time to listen, to watch us, taking some advice or giving some criticism and shit like that. We appreciate that. Showing some love, sharing, liking, for sure. Like commenting.
The community has definitely like improved since last time we did a pod back in the day, like 5+ years ago.
You know what's funny? We were at 150, then someone unsubscribed.
Oh no, I noticed that last night.
I was like inside crying. I was damn.
I almost wanted to text, but I didn't want to bum you guys out.
But anyways, I do want to congratulate to Thomas and Desmond and myself and you guys. We all got us to 150 Appreciate that. It does not matter that one person that unsubscribed. I just genuinely want to say I do appreciate 150 subs. It really motivates us to keep going with these pods, and we really love doing this. Like,
yeah, for sure. And I have a way to tie in podcasting with mental health. Is like we're so committed that I feel like it's actually positive for our mental health.
Yeah.
Especially with me, like, personally, because, like, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be, like, a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And, like, also part of the bad part of my mental health, I never became that or became anything necessarily. That was actually, like, that built up, like, a community. Like, I don't even want to be popular. I just want to be popular enough to have, like, at least a community going, you know, that you can actually, like...
Right.
Like,
I think
to.
Me personally too, I always wanted to be a YouTuber or some type of like streamer for like gaming and stuff like that.
And just from all the time I spent like making different types of videos, like I feel so crushed. Like everything I've done, all the time I spent, all the effort I've done.
What I love is the interaction that we get. It might not be like through through the video, unfortunately, because we're not live. But
true. Eventually, one of these days.
Yeah, eventually one of these we'll do like a live podcast.
Now you can definitely not cut anything out for sure.
But
not like we do that though.
Basically, what I was saying was that like the interaction with you guys on YouTube, like the comment, the likes, and some of you guys sharing.
Like, even some of my friends comment too.
And then
shout out to Idris for commenting.
The subscriptions and stuff like that. Even when you guys like grab me on the side, like talking to me, like, hey, your podcast, or like, these are some things you can work on, or hey, your podcasts are great, stuff like that. Yeah,
criticism's good too. Like constructive criticism where it's fair. But also, like, you can learn from it and improve.
I'm sorry that Desmond couldn't make it today. I bet Desmond would have been a really great person to talk about mental health. Yeah, he would be a good
contributor, too.
But maybe we'll get a mental health.
It just didn't work out with the schedule, I guess.
Yeah. Like I said, we're still working on each other's schedule and stuff.
Yeah, it adjusts accordingly. We're getting busier lately.
But Desmond will be a huge contributor to this podcast. Hopefully we could do a second podcast of mental health. It doesn't have to be
mental health month, by the way? Is that why we're doing it?
No, it's mental health awareness month.
Oh, awareness month. Okay.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
But we'll probably do another like special on like another time when there's another mental health month.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be next year. It could be like
the closest month possible.
Yeah, for sure.
And we can have all three of us talking about it. Mainly maybe just get Desmond talking about it. He missed this podcast.
Yeah, I feel like there is a lot to talk about. Like there's even a few topics related to mental health we didn't even get to yet.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of the reason why we kind of want to do a podcast like this. Is I feel like we're not reaching enough everyday people lives in social media. Yeah. And we've just been getting into like famous people's lives rich people's lives and stuff like that.
That's like super common in like YouTube and shit.
And I think like this is
interviewing.
Yeah. And then sorry, I know I'm a little sidetracked about our main discussion about mental health here and Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, but I just want to put this on exclamation mark that I feel like we're doing something truly different and truly significantly like beautiful here, because
I can't stress that enough, for sure.
We're doing everyday lives. It's not like we're not just doing rappers. We're doing like
we got a single mother.
We got a student. We got a teacher. We got a high school football coach coming in.
Oh, yeah, we got
a
detailer
who does cars. Yeah. And we got some other special guests coming in, planning in. We got some gym bros, gym sisters,
and landscape entrepreneurship.
Yeah. And then we got a lot of stuff coming in, and then
so more variety.
Yeah.
On like just regular people.
Exactly. Yeah.
That like separates us from other podcasts.
Basically, our everyday work stuff. We're not just interviewing like fucking famous people.
Yeah, that's not even a good like entry level. Too, for us. Like we're like trying to do some entry level shit that's actually realistic. To start off. But it's good for like doing what's realistic to do.
But before we move on to more of the topic today, the mental health, we're gonna take a break here. Thanks for truly listening in.
Yeah, for sure.
But we're gonna take a break. Thanks, guys. All right. We back.
Yup.
We back from break. We back. We back.
Let's get this on.
So we were just before we took a break, we were talking about, we were obviously thanking you guys.
Oh yeah.
And then we were talking about my situation and Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah.
And then some ways to work on, to help you, for your mental health. And then and what ways helped me. And then I do want to mention that you should ask for help, and you should be willing to speak out. I mean, you should be not willing to. What am I trying to say? You should be able to speak your feelings without holding yourself back into a bottle.
Because you could still like speak on it appropriately. Maybe there are ways to inappropriately.
I would not hold it in, because you don't know, like it can go bad.
Oh yeah, because it's like a path that you can be stuck on. It's like a rabbit hole, for sure.
I just want to say, I'm proud of every single of you guys. Fighting through whatever mental health issues you guys are gonna have going on.
Yeah, it's just part of the human journey, really.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Stay strong, everybody, and fight to live another day.
Yeah.
That's what they say, right?
Oh yeah, they do. Fight to see another day.
I also wanna say that, like, the reason why I know I keep saying this, but the reason why we're talking about Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and this is kind of going back to my story too, is that when I was going through my situation, I didn't feel like a lot of people were reaching out to me. But when I saw like girls in my school, like when they're going mental health, I see like a swarm of people like, "Hey, are you okay?"
Oh yeah.
Or they'll be like
posting. Sometimes they get flowers.
Yeah, they'll be posting something like on their social media, like,
that too.
"Oh my gosh, this person's going through this traumatic situation. Please be nice to them," or something like that. But like when I was going through it, nobody was like.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't get that support.
Yeah. Now it makes more sense why the title's Men's Mental Health, because we know that side more, obviously.
Yeah.
But we see a little bit.
But this is our from personal experience and our opinions too.
Yeah. That's why it makes sense.
It may differ from another side. Don't hold us accountable for our words, because this is what I'm seeing as a human being, and I just feel like, and also this is not just my story, because I feel like a lot of other guys that I heard from, they don't get reached out as much as they should, as often that they need to be reached out to.
Yeah, true.
For their mental
health. And
that's
like way too common, I feel. Can't stress that enough.
I feel like guys have a harder time just reaching out with each other too.
Yeah, that too.
No way.
It's like a tough guy contest at the end of the day.
Ego contest. Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
But Thomas, you had a question for me during the break. What was the question? Not the question, but what was your topic?
Oh yeah. I was about to correct you on that. I mentioned a topic idea. So one topic idea I thought of during the intermission was, how has mental health changed from before and after technology?
That's a great question, and a good
and
topic.
Social media too.
Yeah, that's a good topic, because I feel like so social media, it can either make you feel a part of something
or the opposite.
Yeah. And this is also coming from my own personal experience. When I see people going out and they don't invite me, and they're my friends, I feel like, you know what I mean?
And they have a story on their Snap of them saying
like,
cheers.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm doing all this.
Yeah.
And like, they're also with my other friends. I'm like, where am I at?
Oh, damn.
You know what I mean?
That does suck,
and that's
you got
where,
mutual friends
and
together.
also that's where that's coming from jealousy from my part, but also like it puts me in a mental state where like, are these really my friends?
Yeah. It's hard to avoid the feeling of jealousy.
Why am I not part of the group that I'm usually part of? Like, why this time I'm not part of the group? This time? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel the same way. You can't help but to think that.
And
when you see it.
another personal story I have is like when you're going through social media, you see all these famous people, rich people.
Makes you jealous.
Yeah, it makes you jealous too. We're like, damn, I wish I had that.
Because it's like flex culture, especially.
Yeah, I like, damn, I wish I had that car. Or damn, I wish I had that money. Damn, I wish I had that house.
Yeah.
And then like,
damn, I wish I had that drip.
Yeah, and you see yourself doing what you're doing, you feel like a loser.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, like what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah,
Like I could
it
be
is
working
bad to
for
compare yourself, but sometimes you can't help it to like see all these people and just to see how their lives are way different than yours.
Yeah, and I mean, it's totally okay to live that life, you know? That's their lifestyle. That's
they're
totally
having fun
fine
with it.
Yeah, it's just for me in a social media perspective, I'm just like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be that, but I feel like I'm a loser compared to them because I don't have that type of stuff that they do.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's more of a privilege for them, too, which I don't have some of those privileges.
Yeah, it's like,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like, damn, all them people are going to Diddy's parties and shit.
Yes, and like, Diddy?
Yeah.
Whoa. P. Diddy is getting in trouble.
Yeah. I just had to
I would never get into no Diddy's party.
Yeah.
That guy's a weirdo.
I know, for sure.
But yeah, I just, in that perspective of social media, it's not fun. And also another thing is that people can hide through social media and like bully you and harass you and stalk you and do all these things, and that could also fuck up your mental health too.
That happened to me when I was like 13. Just somebody like harassing me everywhere I go in the comments.
We're not getting a sponsorship from Netflix, but the show I just watched pretty recently called Baby Reindeer. I don't know if you watched it.
I never heard of it.
But it's basically about this. This is a true story. This actor who gets stalked.
Oh wow, that's creepy.
Through social media.
Yeah, that's creepy and realistic too.
Well, and and then he gets stalked in the bars that he bar he worked at, and in the comedian show. And then this the girl stalker was just like on social media and stuff like that. And I think that fucked up his mental health too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You'd be like paranoid like all the time. That would give you PTSD actually.
Because he's like, oh my gosh, this girl's sending me like 4,000 emails.
Oh god, is she a catfish too? That would make it even worse.
I don't know. Like, they're trying to figure out who the real stalker is. But I don't know who's the real stalker. They have a clue of who it is. They kind of know who it is, but I don't know exactly who it is.
Because it's even creepier if it's someone that's not actually them, like catfish.
Well, it is them because, like I said, they met at the bar that the guy was working at. He offered her tea, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm in love with this guy."
Oh, that makes sense. So they already saw each other. That makes more sense.
But what I was saying through social media and through that show was that, like, yeah, she was sending him like a bunch of emails and shit like that. And then some of those emails fucked up his his mental health mindset. Yeah. And then some of the things that she says, it's just given that ability to in social media, like having that power to just send people like a million of shit.
Yeah.
And being able to harass them.
It's wild.
Also, I don't know why he didn't block her on email. He kind of could, but I don't know.
He desperately wanted that attention.
I don't know. Like, I don't want to.
You don't want to make any assumptions.
I don't want to make any assumptions because it is a real story. Because but like there could be a possibility where he could have blocked her, but like, and then like. It's just like technology too with phones. Like you can call like several people with a fake number too, or you can call them with the unknown number.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And I think that fucked up that guy's.
Yeah, you can get away with so much shit nowadays. Yeah,
and he the scene is this guy. She sent him so much voicemails, and he saved it, and he's like listening, and it just destroyed his mental health. It destroyed him as a person.
That is a sad story.
Yeah.
And it's just, since it's also a true story, which makes it even like more like sad.
But yeah, we're talking about like technology wise. I think we're given so much power through social media and through our phones, where we can, like it affects someone, mental health.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like there's so much more like chances of things to happen nowadays, like more new scenarios because of new technology is opening a whole range of new like scenarios to happen.
Yeah.
Like that's why there's like a lot more scammers that exist.
What about you? What social media or what ways that affected you and your mental health?
Oh yeah, I actually have like a timeline in my head. So like back in the day, I used to like post like all the time when I was like a kid, and even as an older kid, like into my teenage years.
Right.
And then I don't know, like suddenly I just wanted to stop posting because I felt like most people didn't even really care. Like eventually when I was like more aware, like in my late teens, probably around the time, maybe like a year before or around the same time I met you is probably when I kind of stopped posting, like even on Facebook. And there was a point where I even stopped on YouTube, which is saying something because usually I like YouTube and to even post on there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that just like made me want to take a break from social media. And like since everyone else is getting like a lot, there's people I know that are getting a lot more like likes and shit,
and subscribers more attention, and shit like that. And you're like, why am I not getting?
Yeah, and I'm even pickier of what I post as I get older because I'm more self-aware than I used to be. I used to like post cringy shit when I was younger, but nowadays I'm a lot more pickier.
You gotta start from somewhere though, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to start again. But it's been like several years.
It's to be honest, it's kind of like these pods that we do. Sometimes I cringe, but I'm trying to make it more natural so we don't cut anything out.
Yeah, you can learn from it. It could be funny too sometimes.
And it could just that's like, I'm not gonna lie. Probably some of these things I have said today in this pod, I feel like I cringed.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't know. It might just be me and my in my mind.
Sometimes I feel like that too, but when I hear a different person's perspective, like Desmond, for example, is like, oh, there's some funny parts, but some parts people can relate to even if you find it cringy yourself. Yeah. But it's just, I think it's like that one perspective side. If I feel like you're more like insecure as yourself, looking back on yourself.
Yeah.
Because we always see ourselves in a more harsh perspective compared to like a friend seeing someone.
Well, another thing about mental health too, about what we're like talking about. It's when you talk to yourself, like in your head, like you're telling yourself, "Oh, you're cringing." Like you're giving yourself those bad energy and vibes,
sometimes I can't help it.
Yeah,
like,
and that fucks up your mental health.
Yeah, like especially that single lover pod, for example. I cringe at myself on that, to be honest. But hey,
that made 200 views though.
That's another example of like people relating to it in some or connecting it to some way.
My only reached to 70 views.
Oh yeah, true.
I didn't even break 100.
I even reposted, but it just got one extra view. Ironically, right? But that's the only one under 100, because everything else been getting over 100 views.
Yeah. Shit. Shit. I don't know. Stuff like that makes me less motivated to do these pods.
I could see how that,
because like
maybe that one.
It's because like it makes me feel like we're putting all this effort and then we're declining.
Yeah,
or like people are starting not to care anymore.
Yeah, it's like
they're not paying attention or trying to pay attention to our hard work.
Yeah, because we're not getting rewarded for the level of effort we put in.
But hey, that's okay. That's part of YouTube, you know. You gotta just keep on grinding and posting and shit. Though, sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's
how
also
it always starts.
Also, that's part of my mental health, guys. That YouTube stuff. It's like I feel like. So when we first started doing FHF, right, we were like pushing like heavily on shit like that, and I felt like, oh,
then
damn.
a big hiatus.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, like
when we had shit going on.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, we're not hitting views. We're not hitting subscribers.
Yeah. That's actually part of my depression because I always wanted to be something.
Yeah.
Like I said before break, how I always wanted to be a YouTuber or at least somewhat in the film industry, aka social media industry. But like again, I didn't even want to be like super popular. I just wanted to like I said earlier, I just want to have enough to have like an audience that I can communicate with and that's just been one of my dreams, but just like it makes me depressed that all those dreams are crushed from all the effort and time I put in since I was like fucking 12 or 13 years old. So it's just kind of sad to like never get anywhere after all that time and effort.
It's like seeing your dreams getting crushed down.
I know.
And
it makes me feel like, damn, everything I do has to be portfolio worthy nowadays. I can't just make some silly cringy shit anymore like when I was a kid. But it's fine. I was experimenting with shit back then. I was young. But nowadays, I gotta take shit more seriously to even get anywhere.
I mean, we experienced...
There's a reality. It's hard to get to a certain point.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, during FHF, we were experiencing shit too. And then we had to restart, and then here we are again. Doing podcasts.
Yeah, at least we learned a lot from, the first time experience, at least. Like, even back then, I had a lot less to say back then. I mean, we already talked about that, but,
Our pods weren't as interesting as
they were a lot less shorter, too, because we had less to say. We were younger. It makes sense why, though, but...
The quality wasn't as good.
We were newbies. Yeah.
But during that time of us doing YouTube...
Yeah, I even made lazy thumbnails back then. Nowadays, I actually put more effort into modernizing the thumbnails. I felt
like... I just felt like we weren't progressing. I just wanted to give up.
Did it just feel like an empty void in a way? Yeah.
I feel like we're just going in cycles and we weren't doing anything to help ourselves or improve.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but do you have anything else for mental health? Wise or mental health awareness?
Not on the top of my head. I did already bring up the topic. And we did bring up tips too, kind of spread out, though we didn't list tips to improve your mental health. But, I mean, I had a few ideas, but I don't want to just make a whole list of tips, because they were pretty obvious. You can just literally look it up on Google and see the main key components to improve your mental health. There'll be a list for you right there if you're trying to turn your life around,
Well, like I said, we're gonna have some links in the description to.
Oh yeah, I was actually about to ask you if we should put links to for getting help.
Yeah. We're definitely gonna have links for that. Not just a reminder, not just only for men, for everyone.
Okay? Yeah. And the only reason why it's titled this is because of our perspective and we didn't want to talk for anybody else,
And also, it's not just our perspective; it's we just want to bring awareness to
that's the most important thing, to discuss for sure.
If you have any men that that are going through something and they don't really talk as much. Mm-hmm. Stay quiet. Usually, please just be hey, you doing okay, bro? Hey, you doing okay? Dude, what's going on? Just check up on them. You don't have to be assertive about it. Hey, what the fuck you doing? What's wrong with you? You just hey, you okay? You doing okay?
Yeah. Even just recently, I was going through something mentally, not as emotional because it was more financial shit. Mm-hmm. That was kind of fucking me over. So it's not it's sad. It's just super disappointing, and just also more lonely ever since I got laid off the beginning of this year,
right?
And just figuring out ways to cope with it. And to be honest, in February for a month straight when I wasn't working, I was just reflecting really hard and not doing anything with my life for a month straight, just reflection upon reflection. And then starting March is when I started to get my shit together. And right now it's May, so it's been 2 months since I got my shit together. It's a pretty recent shit I was going through. But like I said, it's not it's not emotional trauma or anything. No drama. It's completely dramaless. It's just financial shit, And loneliness in there too, because, I'm by myself a lot more ever since then. I have a different job too that I work a lot more there. I worked there before, which is landscaping, by the way. But yeah, I'm definitely around like less people though, is what I'm trying to, is like my main point. Because I'm around like just a couple people, maybe a few other people.
Usually your
at
dad.
That job. Yeah, because he's the entrepreneur of his landscape business, which I've been working for. But at least that's like good to like have a backup like thing to work for, even though it's a lot harder job than what I was working with before. But got to get the bag somehow, some way or the other.
That's facts.
Yeah, true. And it just kind of forces me to toughen up, which is actually good mentally to like develop, tough skin, because that can help.
Oh, that's a great bring up right there. That I want to build upon
tough skin.
No, not that, but like another reason why that men hide their mental health and bottle it up is because our social norm. We already kind of talked about this in the beginning, is that we're taught to hide our feelings. We're taught to be like, hey, like don't express your feelings. Don't cry. If you cry, you're a baby. Or if you cry, you're a girl. Like, who gives a fuck if you cry? Like, just cry.
I just have a feeling. I have a dark feeling of is that like a lot of like men like cry alone in some corner.
No, exactly. That's how it is sometimes. I'd be just crying in a car by myself. That's basically my corner. Yeah, I'll be crying in my room. That's basically my corner.
Because most men don't want to cry in front of other people.
They don't want to cry in front of people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like even close people sometimes.
And I think it's okay. I think it's okay to cry. And I think it's okay to express your feelings. And I think today's society now has getting better on men, on mental health and depression and all that, and expressing their feelings. I definitely see it more like being out there more. But even our TVs back then are showing that men don't even express their like emotions
that's a big
or mental health.
You see in like TV.
Yeah, and then they usually suppress it, and then like when the women, get depressed, they're like the men surrounding her, like, hey, you doing okay? But like the other, like the opposite, the men.
It even influences our culture that way too, from TV and just how like men are brought up.
And then how like even the men teach their children down along that are boys and turn into men, like, hey, don't show your emotions. That's weak.
It's weird how that always passes down. Like
it's not weak, guys. It's not. It's okay. Does it not? If you're a man and identify yourself as a man and you're crying, it does not make you a fucking woman.
Yeah, that's not woke at all.
Yeah, and then it does not make you a ageless baby.
That's just
not ageless baby.
I feel like that's just out of date thing to believe now.
Yeah,
it's like super out of date in my opinion.
I think every man has a right to feel what they feel and go through their mental health.
Yeah, I feel like all that shit was old school, like just bottling everything up.
And I think it's okay to reach out for help too. If you're not reaching for help, try to find some alternative way to help your mental health, like going on a hike, going to the gym, coming up with new hobbies like building Legos or putting puzzles together. For sure.
That's like one of the tips I actually had in my notes. Is like hobbies is a good thing.
Yeah, do
new hobbies are good too,
or whatever, or something like that. Traveling, sure.
Keeping your mind busy is good.
Keeping your mind busy, and then what makes you happy.
It helps you distract yourself from like harsh realities too. But I feel like that's like one of the most important
doing your hobbies,
because routine
is
what
important. Makes me the most happiest, and that keeps me away from a bad.
Yeah, because hobbies are supposed to be fun.
Yeah. So make sure to check yourself out, find some hobbies and shit like that, and hopefully you guys anybody out there can have a better state of mental health. I know it's not that easy.
Yeah.
Stay strong, keep fighting on. Look for help if you want some help. If you don't want some help, I suggest you at least talking to someone. And if you don't want to talk to someone or vent to someone, try to reach out to a close friend and vent to them. If you don't want to do that too, find a hobby and trying to find a way to release all that depression, anger, anxiety, all that whatever that's built up.
Let me give you guys like a simple example of like me video editing. That's like one of my hobbies ever since I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And there's been a hiatus at one point where I didn't edit anything, and I feel like depression kind of like washed over me a little bit because I wasn't actually doing what my passion is, and like not getting back into what my passion is kind of makes me feel like, what am I here on earth for? That kind of that kind of feeling, But like ever since I got back into editing, I feel way better and a lot more relieved that I'm back in the flow of like editing videos and shit.
Right.
Like, cause that's my hobby and my passion. Eventually I want to like work as a video editor at one point, So like doing what you love is like kind of helps you keep going forward,
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is something what I love doing for you guys, doing the podcast.
Yeah, this is a good example too.
And then it helps me and helps us to, if you guys subscribe, like, comment below.
All that cringy YouTube shit. Yeah. Regular YouTube shit.
It actually helps us know to keep growing as a person. Mm-hmm. But do you have anything else to add on, Thomas?
Well, the ultimate way to cure your mental health is take a sip of water. I'm just joking. It's not that simple, guys, but yeah.
I think the most simple way to handle it, though, for sure, is take a sip of water, relax, find a peace state of mind.
Or what Keemstar would say, take a sip of beer, and then you're fine.
Keemstar. But I really enjoy doing these podcasts with Desmond, with Thomas, with the guests. I really appreciate you guys staying tuned. I know it's a long podcast. Sometimes we rant about random shit, and sometimes we get off topic. Sometimes some of my things don't make sense. Sometimes Thomas' things don't even make sense, or sometimes Desmond shit doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
But like, it's natural, We're not gonna fucking cut it out. That's who we are. Sometimes we say random shit, we come out with random shit.
Yeah, but sometimes we have that natural instinct to get back on track like that too, though.
But I just wanna shout out to those men out there going through their mental health and staying strong and doing it alone. But you're not alone, guys. I just want to say that. Stay up, kings. Talk to your fellow homies. Talk to your girlfriends. Talk to your wife. Talk to somebody. It's okay to express those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Let's leave the past behind us. Like, leave the old
all that
stuff.
shit is like so old school.
Yeah, let's not be like, oh, that makes you a girl.
It's like an irrelevant thing to believe.
I know we're getting better for sure, and then I just want to say, like, not just only men, for all those people who are going through mental health, please reach out for sure. Like, please talk to anybody, talk to somebody.
Yeah. But it also makes sense why it rooted from like men trying to bottle feelings up, because like life was like rough for like a lot of people, and that's kind of why we kind of developed to think that way. Probably.
Well, in our society, there wasn't an equal treatment with men and women, and then
some people had hard lives,
and then
especially back then.
And there was a social norm of men and women, and then that's why mental health was a big thing for men, because it was hidden and suppressed, and it felt like we didn't have any mental health.
Yeah, suppress is a good way. But
we did have, so obviously everyone knows that men have mental health, but like, it was suppressed in a way that it seemed like we didn't have any mental health going on.
Yeah, true. It's like it's not like it doesn't exist. Obviously, it exists. Yeah. Some people feel like, oh, like no matter what you're going through, sometimes people are not even gonna tell, because like you can be really good at hiding your feelings to the point where people won't even fucking know.
Yeah.
It can be that bad. Sometimes I experience that shit where I'm so good at hiding it where people won't even like say a single word to react to that.
But like I said, I really do appreciate you guys. Like, really, please like, subscribe, share, comment. We got a lot of guests coming in, and we got a lot of good pods coming in. Desmond will be back on the pod. The next pod we're gonna do. I just want to shout out to all the guests, and then I want to shout out Thomas and Desmond. Yeah, and FHF been going on strong, and I want to continue this for sure. And I love all the support. I want all the support. If it wasn't for you guys, we definitely wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be having this idea and expanding it if it wasn't for you guys. And
it would be pointless without anybody. You know, for sure.
150 may be little, but it's a lot to us.
Yeah, true.
I don't know how to make this sound more genuine, but I just really do want to say like I appreciate you guys because this is keeping me stable in my mental health too.
True, and we're kind of proving that we feel this way by how much effort we put in.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a good way to show people our commitment. Yeah, you're right.
I know we don't really talk about that aspect of why we did this and why we're doing this.
Yeah. Kind of
got also overshadowed. Like, I feel like our friend group too, like me, you, Desmond, and like other friends, we usually talk about life too every day.
Oh yeah,
I feel like a podcast about that.
Oh yeah, especially in the car rides, we talk about shit and kind of goes the same way here.
But guess what? Guess what?
What?
We out.
We out. Peace.